going to talk about getting started today, right? What is in your hands? What can you start with today? So go ahead and put in the chat where you guys are from, where you're logging in from. That even include the people that will watch this on a replay later. You guys know I'm here for about an hour. So if you got any questions or concerns about this independent living facility model, you absolutely let me know. An ILF in an independent living facility model is an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So we always start with that. We don't want to just take for granted that people just know who we are and what we do. So again, if you don't know, again, we specialize in independent living facilities. And again, that's just an environment. That's a 3-bed, 2-bath home, 4-bed, 2-bath home, where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So a lot different from a traditional group home, a lot different from an ALF, a lot different from an ADD, all of these different kind of housing programs that you all have heard about that may require a license. So that's not this. You do not need a license to do what we do. You do not have to own the property, and there is no state oversight or no permission per se that you got to get from your state. So again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. So we're going to jump into a few things today. I also want to congratulate some people. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people who were teaching this model too. We've had some open houses here lately. So again, just want to congratulate some folks. I'll probably say that even just for a minute. Got a lot of things that we also want to talk about today in terms of that HRA model. So there's a lot of people, again, that want to do this and want to house the homeless and the displaced, and they want to start their own housing program, but they're just not ready to buy a house, lease one, or rent one, right? So the HRA model, which stands for Housing Referral Agency, allows you to start this model without the need for real estate. So again, if you see a need to help people, again, you per se don't need the real estate. It's more important to have the relationship. So that's what the HRA means, that you're going to become a housing referral agency. One more time, a housing referral agency. So that's what that means. So, in fact, I'm not going to hold off on those shout outs. I'll go ahead and give those now. I want to give a big shout out to Miss Linda and the Eustache family over here in Orlando, Florida. We just launched them recently. Had an open house for them. So if you haven't seen that content, either on my personal page at Derrick Forston on Facebook or Instagram at Forston Consultants, make sure you go check that out. Show Miss Linda and her family some love. Her children are in on it. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. She probably had over 8 other different family members that also joined her that day. So that's what we love about this too, man. When people get involved in this and they involve their family. So again, if you haven't seen my content on my personal page on Facebook at Derrick Forston or on Instagram at Forston Consultants, make sure you check that out, or Forston Consultants on Facebook, right? Please go check out Miss Linda and her team. Also want to give a big shout out to Dominique Telford and his wife, the Telford family out of Haines City. So they just launched as well and have a beautiful facility, and they got something that's kind of really unique and one of a kind. So I'm actually going to see if I can pull him on one of these days and get him to join us live. I want him to kind of talk about what he's got. And if that doesn't happen, we're going to probably be posting his content probably by Monday morning, Monday evening. So we're going to be showing it because he's probably got one of the most unique ILFs that we've ever launched for somebody. And there's a lot of different reasons that go into that, but we're going to probably save that for now. But big shout out to the Telford family. Super proud of them. Their content is not up yet, but we absolutely are going to be showing that. Also want to give a shout out to the AJ family. So Mrs. and Mrs. AJ, super big shout out to them. They're over there in Worthington, Ohio. They recently just joined the family. Big shout out to the Malone family, Miss Misha. So you guys will be seeing these names. You IMB members, you guys will be seeing all of their names in the private groups. They'll be joining that soon. But the Malone family, the Telford family, Mrs. and Mrs. AJ Madeline, just big shout out to you guys. So first of all, moving at the speed of instruction and doing is what God called you to do, right? Now that got nothing to do with me, but also thank you from me and my family for trusting us with your vision. Because again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, and you're trying to get into this model, but you just didn't have the guidance until you bumped into us, we really appreciate that you guys not only chose us, but you trusted us. And that really means a lot. So we super appreciate that. I'll probably continue to shout those folks out because, again, a lot of you guys that come and watch this and listen to this stuff, that kind of stuff encourages you all. Got a lot of messages this week from people that stated that they were super encouraged by that video of Miss Linda and how she involved her kids. So Linda's extremely busy. She also just took on a brand new job. So I want to talk about that too in another breath. But that's something that I really admire about the Eustache family. Her husband works full-time, owns his own business. Miss Linda's a nurse, just started a new job with a new position, but still didn't make any excuses. That kind of stuff really just drives me through the roof in a good way when I see people that, get a vision for something that God has obviously told them to get into. And even though their life is busy, times are tough right now. The world is a little crazy. The election is right around the corner. They don't allow things like that to stop them. Like Katara, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Both of y'all got full-time jobs. Y'all got family that depend on y'all. Y'all running businesses. You got a ministry, but yet you still don't make the excuses. So big shout out to everybody that's never given up. Big shout out to anybody that hit a stumbling block, and then you got back on course. I can talk to you right now about two sisters that joined us many years ago, right? And kind of joined us and fell off for 2 years. One of them got married and one of them started having babies. But they came back to the coaching because, first of all, y'all know how our coaching works, right? They kind of never lost touch really. So when they came back 2 years later, they're now blossoming like roses in the summertime. So like, I really, really appreciate that, people that do that because it also makes our coaching look genius. But I'll be crazy if I told y'all that had all to do with me and none of you. Because no matter how great the coaching is, no matter where you come from or where you live at, man, if you don't put your hands to the plow to make this work, this is all baloney. Tia's got a full-time job, children, people that depend on her. She's running a business, a ministry, phone calls coming in and out. She's got a little bit of staff now. And what I mean by staff is these virtual assistants. So again, imagine trying to manage all that, but yet you still launched a facility. That's what I love about people like that. Katara, been around us for years and celebrated everybody else until it was her turn. And now she's got multiple facilities, right? But same thing, Katara's got a job. She's got businesses, husband, family, team members, like all of these things. She's involved in her family. She's involved in the community. Like, man, I say this all the time, man. I appreciate people that come around us because one thing I appreciate about 99.9% of people that come around us, you guys aren't lazy people. You guys are busy. People depend on y'all. Y'all involved in y'all community. A lot of y'all are involved in your church. So that's what I appreciate about people that come around us like you all. You guys got the love of God in your heart. You love people. Y'all obviously love real estate. But just one day you had no clue how to put all that stuff together until you kind of bumped into us. And that's what's pretty cool, how God does all of that together at the same time. As my mom will often say, for such a time as this. Here, me and Tia but are from the same city. Tia and I are from the same city, y'all, for anybody that didn't know that. But guys, I'm not what? I guess I'll tell my age. That's okay. I'm 42 years old. I never really knew Miss Tia like that. Now, what's crazy is I did know her son. Her son was an absolute basketball star. Great guy in school. All of that good stuff. Tia's got a beautiful family. But I never really knew Miss Tia. But one day, guess what? God put on Tia's heart, right? That, man, you know what? I should be housing people. I know I got this job, but God, you calling me to do something different. And I got this property. Kind of really ain't doing nothing to it, but let's rehab this property and let's now show the love of God through helping people. People think Tia's a genius now. Took a property, rehabbed it. And one thing about Tia, y'all, and some of the people that are around us call Tia bougie, right? Because Tia, they just put people in the house and just say, okay, y'all, move in. Tia rehabbed it. So if y'all been looking on my personal page and look how we rehab properties and put people in it, Tia did the same thing, y'all. And that's what we call, again, moving at the speed of instruction and doing is what God has called you to do. Now, God allowed Tia and I to bump into each other. I didn't know Tia. Tia didn't per se know me, but Tia knew my family. Now, how crazy is that? Tia knew my mom, But one day heard me on YouTube running my big mouth talking about how you can take a house, work with social workers and case managers, and mesh it all together, and you don't need a license. Tia didn't have to go to school and get a 4-year degree. Tia didn't have to go take no classes and go get a license. Tia didn't need no certifications. But guess what this did require? The love of God, the love for people. You got to have some patience, because, boy, if you ain't got no patience, the population that we serve, this might not work for you. And you got to love real estate. Obviously, Tia's in the game of real estate. She got a property, rehabbed it. So look at how this one business is such a blessing. On the real estate side of it, she looks like a genius because she's taking one property and renting to multiple people. Now, I'm going to show y'all tons of things today in how we house folks. The majority of the people that we house, they live in a room that's got 2 beds in it. Tia is one of the few people, and I'm also one of these people, because a lot of us do both, but Tia does all private rooms. That means Tia doesn't do the shared environment in terms of the room. Does that make sense, everybody? In this model, I'm going to show you guys in this independent living facility model, all Tia rooms look like this. They got 1 bed in it. Tia's mind frame is less people, less problems. Because my coaching told Tia, if we put 1 person per room, what are we fighting about? I said, Tia, you want to run a program with no problems because you got a full-time job? Tia, you got a family? Tia, you involved in your community? Tia, you involved in your church? Tia, you now taking people from homeless to hopeful. So Tia, you busy. Tia, you want to know how to make a program that's kind of less problems? I say less people. Now, depending on the math of your place, because some people are going to be blessed and have either a low mortgage or the house may be paid off. Now, that's up to Tia if she want to tell you where she at on that. I ain't going to tell her business on that. But most people that we house, the room's going to look like this, y'all. It's 2 people per room. But again, as you see, has Tia put in the chat, Tia said all private. And notice how many L's she put on that. Tia is busy, y'all. Oh, and just as a little small joke, Tia is also a motorcycle rider. So when Tia ready to go on her motorcycle, just enjoy the breeze and go hang out, Tia don't have to be running back and forth to that place, because this is a shared living environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff. Tia don't have staff. Now, she does have a virtual assistant, which is a part of our coaching, because Tia is busy. She's got a job working 8-9 hours a day. So guess who's answering all Tia phone calls? That virtual assistant. Look how genius this becomes for people that have a job. Put a number 3 in the chat if this makes sense, that you can be like Tia, have a job, be involved in your community, still take care of your family, but you're housing people that can cook their own bologna sandwich. You're housing people that can take their own medications without Tia being a nurse. Now, Tia worked in a hospital, y'all, but as far as I know, Tia ain't no nurse. Tia do a lot of stuff. Multi-talented, own businesses. She's involved in real estate. But one day Tia said, man, how can I involve more of the love of God in what I do? That job, all right, but what can I do that God will smile down upon me on? Because I didn't make this up, y'all. The Bible said that the poor and the needy will always be among us. The Bible also says that we should take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Tia looked like she's following the instructions of what God said first, and in our coaching next. Because all this is, y'all, you can get as fancy as you want and call this whatever you want to. But guess what this really is, y'all? This is the love of God and social services and real estate mixed together. Does that make sense, everybody? 2 of y'all type in the word yes if all of this makes sense. This does not require a license. Now, unlike Tia owns that property. Lord have mercy. Most of y'all that's going to bump into me, you guys are going to be just like I started. You're going to have to go and rent or lease a place, which is absolutely okay. I got a bunch of rentals and a bunch of leases. I'm a part of a bunch of them. We're now in 34 states, over 390 ILFs, guys, through the coaching and teaching of what this is. Super proud of all of the new people that just joined us. Y'all just still happen to be in the same states as some of the other people, but we're in over 35 states now. Katara, when you first met us, I think we were in like 12 states, 13-ish. When you first came to one of them master classes, Tia, we in over 35 states now. And guess who? Guess why we keep adding to that number? Because Katara just got a house. Tia just finished and rehabbed her house. See how that happens? So that don't mean that I have that many, y'all. Somebody thinking, wow, Dick, you got a lot of houses. Me and my wife have a handful. I'm also partner in a bunch of them. But through the family and the way we teach this, when you guys get one, we just keep adding to that number. That's what that means. Guys, I don't have 390 of these. That's through the teaching and the consulting of it. So one more time, really slowly, for anybody that just joined us, if you love God, love people, love real estate, like this is it. Show me something that's better than you, other than you going to go buy a church building and you becoming a pastor and then trying to preach to people. And like, guys, I'm also in ministry, but I'll never have this platform to where I got a church maybe or a congregation and I got this microphone. Now, trust me, I got a microphone. I got a few of these, but guys, this is my platform. God told me to go through the bumps and bruises of this, figure it out, and then come back and teach it to other people. So that's my whole life, y'all. Everything that I get into, I mess it up, I screw it up, don't do a great job at it, but then through God and I, we iron it out. And then my job is to come back and teach it to everybody. That's my whole life. Most of y'all people done hid this from you. Type the word yes in the chat if that word was you, because I was that same guy. People hid this concept from us, y'all. So guess what we eventually came up with? From idea to implementation. Because Katara, most of these people, sis, were just like you one day. Katara, you've been around a long time now. I think Katara just put in the chat, yep, bro, it was 12. Like, we were in 12 states. We're in 35 states now. And because the AJ family is from Ohio, that didn't count. I got a bunch of y'all over there in all parts of Ohio, so that don't count again, right? So there's just more people in Ohio. The Malone family, she's from, where did she tell me she's from? It's somewhere again that's we're already at. So again, a lot of people have been hiding this from you, but that's why God put me in your path. Because from idea to implementation, a lot of y'all had the idea to do this. You just had no clue how to put it together. First step is turn yourself into a business. We talked about what an ILF is. It's just an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or oversight. So I don't need ACA and DCF and all of these different permissions from all of these people. And not only do we go by this, but guys, we trademarked it. So if you go to that website where you can look up trademarks, you're going to see my name. You're going to see my family's name there. We trademarked it. But guys, all it is a shared living environment. And as this social worker, as you see in this picture with my shirt and tie, guys, I saw this kind of stuff. Bad conditions, burnt down kitchens, and people still living in it. You think Tia kitchen look like that? Stop it, y'all. You think Katara putting people on the ground like that picture is showing y'all? And I often tell people that if this don't break your heart, then this probably ain't also for you. This should break your heart, because I saw a lady making $41,000 a month doing this, y'all, and these were the conditions of it. Put a number 7 in the chat if that break your heart a little bit. To see somebody bed on cinder blocks, because I jokingly always say this, but if you ain't got your glasses on today, what's holding this one set of beds up on the right, y'all, is cinder blocks. 2 of y'all, please tell me that you can see this in the chat. I mean, see this on my screen, because I would hate to be thinking I'm showing y'all something and y'all can't see it. Do y'all see that bed on cinder blocks? Can you imagine making $41,000 a month doing this model, but you mistreating people? Look how the bed is on the floor. No bed rails. The fan sitting on a banana box and a microwave look like. Like, I don't understand that. And again, at 41 grand a month, you would house people like this? Okay, now I'm gonna move on from that, because y'all know for the ones that have been around a lot, like y'all know I can stay on that one slide for 55 minutes. In fact, if you're new to us, text the word new. I want to give you guys a free gift if you haven't done it already. But if you're new to us, text the word new, just NEW. I want to give you guys our newest ebook for absolute free starting November 1st. That book will be $37, but it's called How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco. And I want you guys to text that to the phone number that I'm also going to put on screen. And also, if you're interested in our ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching, that's $7,500. If you want that for $3,750 and go half with somebody, if you and your friend or however, $3,750, guys, just text the word half and you can also get that. And again, big shout out to the Malone family too. That's exactly what they jumped on. So big shout out to you guys. But again, yes, if you want our one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, text the word half to 407-326-0086. But also text that in a separate chat, the word new. Right? So text the word new if you want to get our absolute newest ebook. How to avoid that $40,000 lawsuit I went through is also in that book. So I don't hide nothing from you guys in terms of that. So I want to keep you guys out of trouble. But guys, once, I prayed and begged and cried to God that I want to do this, obviously we had to change it. And now this is kind of what we make it look like, right? So this isn't rocket science. Again, I'm not the smartest guy in the classroom, but you don't have to be to have the love of God in you, right? And when I found out that it didn't require a license because I'm housing people that are independent, to me, that was the whole cheat code to all of this, because now I don't need a license. I don't have to waste 3 or 4 years trying to get a place open. I can go out and lease and rent a place. Now, some of y'all, prime example, the AJ family, they're looking to buy a property. Just like Derrick. So what's your opinion on buying and renting? Well, 96% of people that come to me, they're going to rent that place. They're going to lease it. But if you're blessed enough in your current situation to buy a property, I'll absolutely tell you to buy it, because now we don't need permission from nobody, because half of my coaching is trying to convince somebody to say yes to you to rent that place. Shake your head yes if you're in my coaching, you had to go through that, right? So half of the coaching, again, is trying to teach you how do we formulate that spiel just right to convince people through relationship, through words and verbiage, and through proof of concept to allow them to say yes to rent or lease you that place. But if you own the property, man, we're skipping all of that now. So big shout out to the AJ family that said, Derrick, no, we good, bro. Like, we gonna look into buying a place. Wow. Right? So again, that's just my opinion on that. If you can buy it, let's buy it and let's go. Right? And if you just want to know my opinion on which model, 1 bed, 2 bath, 2 bed, 2 bath, 3-2, 4-2, my favorite model is the 4-2. Right? All of them work. I can go and get a 1-1, y'all. I can get a 2-1 and make it work. But my favorite model, when people say, well, Derrick, what is your favorite? Because I know you got big ones. Derrick, you got 7-bedroom houses, and you got 8-bedroom, and you got 4 bedrooms, and you got 2 bedrooms. That 4-2 is my absolute favorite, y'all. That's a manageable number. Now, for somebody like Tia, watch this. Tia, again, is not doing what you see on this screen. That's just not her cup of tea. Now, will she always do that? I don't know. You can ask her. She in the room. But again, for a 4-bed, 2-bath model with this bed set up, Tia, I'm putting 8 people in my place. But what if you like Tia and say, boy, I sure like that, less people, less problems. Tia gonna do 4 people and everybody get their own room. So you guys have choices in terms of what does the community dictate. For what I'm hearing from Katara, her new place is the same way. She's only doing 1 person per room, but for a little bit of a different reason. Now we talk about measurements and how big is the room and all of that. Katara shared that the rooms may not be big enough to where she's comfortable with putting the 2 beds. So Katara knew his place. And Katara, if I'm wrong, you tell me in the chat. But I think Katara said that she's going to do 1 person per room and be just like Tia. But guess what's been my favorite thing lately, Tia, is to take that 4-bed, 2-bath, like the one I showed you guys on my Facebook page just 2 days ago, that blue and white house. Guess what I do now, Tia? So in 2 of those rooms, I do want that room to look just like what you see on that screen. I want 4 people in 2 rooms, meaning 1 room, 2 people, next room, 2 people. But guess what I'm doing to them other 2 rooms? I'm doing Tia's model now. So now I got 6 people in the 4-2 versus the 8 people. Put a number 9 in the chat if you like that math and you like that scenario. And that's what I like about this model, y'all. It's so flexible. My brother used to say that all the time. The ILF model is so flexible because you run this program, your decisions, your choices. But again, if you like Tia, Tia's model is, Derrick, less people, less problems, and I'm always going to probably do this model. Tia said, that's what makes this genius. She said before I did, you got choices. Now, Tia, just because people may be wondering, Tia, will you always do private rooms, or will you eventually go into the 2 per room? Because the way I teach it, as she's answering it in the chat, if you got the ability and the math makes sense, because some of us, the rent going to be so high, the mortgage going to be so high, we got to put 2 people in each room to make the math work. Tia is very blessed, y'all. And the way that I view it, if the math makes sense and you're able to be profitable at the number you're satisfied with, and I say that again, that you're satisfied with, because everybody's profit margins are different. If the numbers make sense, I'll go private. Because in my thinking, if everybody's got their own room, what are we arguing about? Why should we have any fights, any disagreements? Because most of the private guys got their own TV in their room too, right, Tia? Right, Katara? So, like, prime example, my largest house to date can fit probably 15 people in it comfortably. But because now everybody want their own private room, the numbers have went down dramatically. Now, that master bedroom, we still do what we do. But everybody wants the private room now, and everybody got their own TV. And see, that's coaching on a different side of it, but Tia said the next house would be 2 per room. So look at how she's able to, what they would call, diversify. That's no different from Tia having a stock portfolio. She's diversifying. This first house, Tia said everybody got their own room. Next house, you just saw it in the chat. She gonna do 2 people per room.